What is top-down construction versus bottom-up?
Okay, well, these are terms that come from constructivist psychology, and the idea is that bottom-up stimulus is where you see something in the world, and it goes into your brain, and it's stored there, and it's a process of learning. And from the observations of life, you have object recognition and development of schemas. Object recognition is obviously something that has wings and a beak and flutters like this. Hummingbird, object recognition. Schema is like cake with candles on it, party favors, balloons, birthday party. It's a conceptual framework. But you have to learn those things, and then they become embedded in your memory, in your storage area. Top down means that after that's happened, when you see something, you compare the new stuff with the schemas and the object recognition that you already have stored up. You compare, and you come to a conclusion about what it is you're seeing. It's a short way of shorthanding. I don't have to, if I just take a glance and see the party streamers and the cake and the ice cream, I don't have to examine the whole thing to figure out what it is. I compare it to a stored memory, say, oh, birthday party. So where that comes in screenwriting is, and in filmmaking generally, is that we only get incomplete information. And we piece it together, just like we piece together the story. We construct an understanding based on the schemas in our memories, so that when in Some Like It Hot, you see the birthday cake and party and all that, and we think birthday party, but then a guy pops out of the top with a machine gun and shoots everybody. That's a schema violation. That's like we come to one conclusion, it turns out to be something else. In that case, they let us know there was a guy that was going to do that. But when you're telling a story cinematically, you can exploit the idea that you can give incomplete information, and audiences will construct it and anticipate where you're going based on schemas, and then you can introduce new information that changes our understanding of the situation. So I mentioned that movie Top Secret that used that a lot, where you have people that are things we've seen before. A guy on a train, and out the window the platform is going by, and then we see that it's actually, the train is standing still, the platform was being pulled. So we have a schema, we recognize that, and then we see what's actually happening. I think it's violated. So it can be used for gag. They actually, with this idea of, it's been used as a gag, non-diegetic dialogue or sound. Like you have a convention, a schema, that in a suspense scene you're going to have music, right? And the character doesn't hear it, and the characters don't hear it. It's not part of the world of the story, but that's something we understand. If you didn't have any knowledge of it, you might think any music is going to come from what you're seeing. In fact, I think in the early days of sound, they did that. They had Al Jolson is singing. When you're getting music, it's singing, and he's doing it. But the concept of having incidental music, which derived probably from theater, from opera, was brought in, and so a new concept or new schema arises, which is the what do you call it? The soundtrack music or the incidental music. And you can have a situation where, like in Blazing Saddles, the guy's riding his horse and there's a band playing music, and then he pulls up and it's Count Basie and his orchestra is out in the desert playing. So that or the what is it, Stranger Than Fiction? Where there's voiceover dialogue about this guy who's going through a normal day, and he always brushes his teeth the same way, and the voiceover saying that. And at one point, he stops and says, where's that coming from? And so we get that violation of our schema, and it's used in that sense for comic effect. And Monty Python did the same thing with that, with Swamp Castle, when the young man tries in the Holy Grail, he tries singing a song. He's in despair. He wants his true love, and the father comes in and says, "No, no music. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a song." That kind of thing.
Did they do that in the airplane movies too? They kind of played off of.
The same people who did Top Secret did the airplane
Okay.
movies. So very likely I'd have to
Okay.
think about examples of where, well, certainly things like the jet plane making a drone like a prop plane throughout the whole movie. That's something contrary to what our schema is. That's it. Yeah, I'm sure there's other examples from that, but I'd have to look at it again, which would not be a problem. Because it
Yeah,
was a
I miss those
fun
movies.
movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.